Today we're going to be reacting to and watching the top 10 most visited lakes in Canada 2022. G'day, how's it going, mate? My name is AussieTash. I'm really looking forward to this video, so let's just jump on in.
From brilliantly blue glacier-fed lakes to lakes begging to be paddled by canoe in the summer or skated on in the winter, we've narrowed our list to include some of the most popular, picturesque and spectacular lakes in the entire nation. While some of the lakes on this list are perfect for taking a dip, others remain ice cold even on the hottest summer day, and one of them prohibits swimming altogether. But as you'll soon discover, it's still well worth a visit. Plan your sightseeing with our list of the best lakes in Canada. In this video, we're going to be taking a look at the top 10 best lakes in Canada. And just wait until you see the number one that we're going to be showing in this video, something you would never even have thought of, so make sure you watch till the end. At number 10, Berg Lake. British Columbia's Berg Lake is a jaw-droppingly beautiful glacial lake with water so turquoise it almost looks fake. In order to get to this slice of paradise, be prepared to work for it. You will need to hike 23 kilometres each way along the Berg Lake Trail in Mount Robson Provincial Park to get to the lake. No bicycles, no cars, no buses. The hike to Berg Lake is beautiful, first passing by Kinney Lake, a pretty lake well worth stopping at for a picnic, and past the cascading Emperor Falls. From here, it's another few kilometres to Berg Lake. You can't miss it, stretching below Mount Robson, which at 3,954 metres is the highest peak in the Canadian Rockies. You can camp at the lake, but a reservation is needed and should be booked well ahead of time, especially if you're heading up during the popular summer months.
Wow, Berg Lake, that is just incredible. The turquoise colour of the water, oh, beautiful, absolutely beautiful. A 23-kilometre hike to and back, or with no bikes or no cars or anything, that's a bit rough, isn't it? I'd love to do that, but I don't think my dodgy knee would allow it. But wow, wouldn't it be fun to do that? It would be awesome.
Next up at 9, Kathleen Lake. Situated in the Yukon's Kluane National Park, Kathleen Lake is a picture-perfect silver-blue expanse of water nestled beneath the snow-capped mountains. There's lots to do in and around the lake. It's a great spot for a refreshing dip after completing the famous King's Throne hike nearby, or you could opt for a shorter, mellow hike along the lake's perimeter. You can also pitch a tent at a campsite close to the lake and make it your home base as you explore the park. The campsite is open mid-May to mid-September. Reservations are recommended in the summer. This is a beautiful spot to check out all 4 seasons, from enjoying the golden foliage in the fall to watching the ice melt on the lake in the spring. When the lake is smooth and glassy, it's a great place to pop in your kayak and go for a paddle. However, keep an eye on the weather. The area is known to get very windy, and you do not want to be caught out on the water when it's blowing hard. And don't stay there for all 4 seasons either. It's a bit chilly sometimes.
Oh, I can imagine how chilly it would be there. Kathleen Lake. Beautiful, just beautiful. Those views you have along the lake with all the mountain scenery, I don't really think we have anything like that in Australia. Our lakes are long, but we don't have mountain views like that. And the beautiful blue turquoise colours. My gosh. We do have a lake in Western Australia, I think it is, that's pink. Don't know how. You can swim in it, but it is pure coloured pink. It's incredible. Obviously, there's some science thing that happens to make the water pink. Check it out. It's really cool.
At number 8, Lake of Bays. Muskoka is Ontario's cottage country, the place people go to escape the madness of the city for a little rest and relaxation by the water. There are tons of great lakes in the area, but one of the best is Lake of Bays. The nature of the lake changes depending on where you are. Some parts are developed with golf clubs, public beaches and lodges by the water. There are lots of nooks with private cottages, and parts of the shoreline remain untouched. There are several islands throughout the lake too. As the name suggests, the huge lake, covering 671.5 square kilometres, features tons of bays, creating calm pockets of water that offer dream conditions for cottage activities like boating, swimming, paddleboarding and water skiing. When the water freezes over in the winter, I'll be long gone, the lake becomes a hotspot for ice fishing, snowmobiling and impromptu pond hockey games.
Lake of Bays. Oh my gosh. You can play golf there? That's cool. It's just a spring wonderland there, isn't it? And then I can't believe when winter comes, we'll just play some ice hockey. So it's spring, we'll play some golf, and then winter comes, get out the park and play some ice hockey. It just looked beautiful. See how they're having that nice picnic overlooking all that landscape, all that beautiful scenery, those mountains? We picnic here on the beach, but we've got to deal with the seagulls trying to eat our fish and chips.
At 7, Peyto Lake. We know. Another glacier-fed blue lake in Banff National Park. You'd be forgiven for thinking that once you've seen one beautiful glacial lake, you've seen them all. But you'd also be sorely mistaken. If you've had the chance to visit Lake Louise and Moraine Lake in person, it's still well worth making a trip along the Columbia Icefields Parkway to see the bluer-than-blue Peyto Lake in person. Like the other easily accessible lakes near Banff, Peyto Lake tends to get busy during tourist season. A lot of people try to beat the crowds by showing up early in the morning, but we'll let you in on just a little secret. Late afternoon and early evening also tend to be quieter times for a visit.
Peyto Lake. I can see why people are travelling to go there. How is the water so blue? It's just breathtaking. All of the lakes, how do you say which one's better? They're all beautiful turquoise blue. The hiking trails, the huge trees. How tall are these trees? I'm going to have to look into more of these lakes individually, and also the nature in Canada. Your trees, you have some of the most beautiful and tallest trees that I've ever seen.
At 6, Garibaldi Lake, British Columbia. Many of the lakes on this list are fairly easy to access. Some require a long drive, others require you to battle for a parking spot, but still, you don't have to work very hard to get to the lake. Garibaldi Lake is another story. Located in British Columbia's Garibaldi Provincial Park near Whistler, Garibaldi Lake is an incredibly beautiful alpine lake, and you're going to have to work up a sweat if you want to see it in person. It's a 9-kilometre hiking trail each way to get to Garibaldi Lake, and you'll gain a whopping 820 metres along the way, as well as bulging calf muscles. The trail starts with a steady climb through forested switchbacks, eventually reaching alpine meadows that are blanketed with colourful wildflowers in the summer. You can hike to the lake as a day trip, or you can reserve a campsite spot right along the lake, though hiking up with a backpack full of camping gear will slow you down a little. From the lake, there are even more trails to explore, like the hike up Black Tusk or the Panorama Ridge Trail, which will give you incredible views of Garibaldi Lake from above. There is one way to experience the beauty of Garibaldi Lake that doesn't require hiking boots. A scenic flight tour in a small plane will grant you a bird's-eye view of the lake. Unlike hiking, it's not free, but you won't break a sweat and you'll get there much faster, just a little less richer.
Garibaldi Lake. That's how I'm getting there. I'm doing the plane tour. All the hiking I'm going to have to do when I go to Canada? Wow, I'm going to have to get my boots on and get the steps up, I think. What have I got today? 7,159 steps. I don't think that's going to help me much when I'm hiking to get to all these lakes, I'll tell you that now.
At 5, Spotted Lake. Arguably the coolest lake, figuratively that is, in all of Canada is Spotted Lake near Osoyoos, British Columbia. The lake has a delightfully whimsical look, featuring large polka dots speckling the water. Some are blue, while others look green. Though the lake looks magical, there's a scientific explanation behind the spots. It's all about the minerals. There are dense deposits of minerals throughout the lake, including magnesium sulfate, calcium and sodium sulfates, among others. When some of the water evaporates in the summer, the spots are revealed. The colours of the spots vary depending on the mineral composition. The lake is so beautiful to look at, and that's all you can really do here. Spotted Lake is an ecologically sensitive area and is a sacred site of the Okanagan Nation, so public access is restricted. Stop by in the summer months when the spots are more pronounced, but don't be tempted for a swim.
Spotted Lake. How cool does that look? Oh my gosh. I'm not really good at science, so I don't really understand all the minerals and things and how it become to be that way. But wow, it does look cool. Definitely. I'd love to drive through that on my trip around Canada.
At 4, Lake Superior. There are 5 Great Lakes, each with its own interesting features and attractions, but only one claimed a spot on our list: Lake Superior. So what is it exactly that makes this lake so superior? Its size is certainly noteworthy. At 128,000 square kilometres, it is the largest of the Great Lakes and the biggest freshwater lake by surface area in the whole world. Pretty impressive stuff. But it's more than just a really big lake. Lake Superior's beauty is rugged and humbling. In clear weather, its bays sparkle blue and the sandy beaches could almost be mistaken for the tropics. But in the blink of an eye, a creeping fog can take over and leave wanderers completely disoriented. In stormy weather, the lake rages with choppy waves. There are plenty of ways to get up close and personal to Lake Superior. You could swim in the lake at one of its beaches, head out on the water for some fishing, explore the shore by kayak, or take a wilderness hike in one of the parks along the way, including Lake Superior Provincial Park, Ruby Lake Provincial Park, Sleeping Giant Provincial Park, and Pukasqua National Park.
Lake Superior. There's a lot of stuff going on there. It's just incredible, isn't it? Like I said, in Australia, I don't really think we have anything like this at all, really. That lighthouse back there. Oh, I love lighthouses. Imagine being at that lighthouse at the very, very top, looking all over. What are you seeing? Beautiful, beautiful mountains, beautiful shoreline, just breathtaking views.
And now at 3, Moraine Lake. Not far from Lake Louise is another spectacular lake, Moraine Lake. Though it's only about half the size of Lake Louise, Moraine has the same sparkling green colour and is flanked by some equally impressive mountain peaks. It can be a little trickier to get to Moraine Lake. The road that accesses the lake closes in the winter and the lake remains frozen as late as June. The parking lot by the lake is relatively small and tends to fill up quickly. Parks Canada staff manages the lot, and if you're not there early enough, you may be turned back. You can always opt to take a shuttle to the lake to avoid dealing with the parking altogether. Moraine Lake makes for a great day trip. You can take a canoe out for a spin. Rentals are available right at the lake. Hike along the shores of the water or trek one of the more challenging trails in the area, or simply sit by the lake to take in its beauty. If you can't get enough, there's a lodge offering overnight accommodations that is open seasonally.
I want to lodge on that lake and do some canoeing. I've never canoed before. I don't think I can do the stand-up one. I'll do the sit-down one. But I want to canoe in that beautiful blue water. It is just incredible. Who knows? I might even bring my husky along with me too.
And now at number 2, Lake Louise. One of the most extraordinary lakes in Canada is the beautiful Lake Louise, located in Banff National Park. The aqua blue water looks tantalizingly tropical, but as you'll quickly realize if you hop in for a dip, this glacier-fed lake is freezing cold year-round. While it may not be the best lake for swimming, it's an incredibly popular tourist destination. The lake is easily accessed and is incredibly photogenic, nestled below the towering Rocky Mountains. It's a picturesque spot for a paddle in the summer and a lovely place for ice skating in the winter. There are plenty of day hikes to tackle around the lake. An easy one to start with is the Lake Louise Lakeshore Trail, a flat, hour-long accessible hike that will take you around the circumference of the lake. The Fairview Lookout is another fairly easy option, gaining 100 metres and leading to a lookout above Lake Louise. Moderate trails will take you to other lakes in the area, like Lake Agnes and Lake Annette, while more difficult trails bring you even higher into the mountains. On the edge of the lake is the stunning Fairmont Chateau Lake Louise.
Okay, so now I get it. I have been getting so many comments and suggestions. Look at Banff National Park, look at Lake Louise. Now I see why. That chateau just looks beautiful. Someone please leave a comment. How old is this chateau? How long has it been there for? Can you stay there? Can you book a room there? Or is it more of just a tourist attraction? There are so many things that you could do there. So many sights to see. That lookout, that was really, really cool. It looks like you can get those little things, those little binocular things, and you look in there and you're just going to go, wow, wow, wow. The Canadian Rockies, I've also had so many suggestions to look into them, and believe me, I will. Canada, you just keep on doing it, don't you? You're the country that keeps on giving in a great, beautiful way.
And finally, at number 1, Emerald Lake. There are 61 lakes and ponds in British Columbia's Yoho National Park. Emerald Lake nabs the title for being the biggest one within the park's boundaries. You don't need much of an imagination to figure out how this lake got its name. Thanks to rock flour, superfine particles of glacial sediment, the water has a sparkling green hue, much like the gem it's named after. There's plenty of fun to be had at Emerald Lake year-round. In the summer months, you can rent a canoe and take it for a paddle out on the water. Come wintertime, the lake freezes over and is a popular spot for cross-country skiing. One of the best times to check the lake out is early fall, before the snow arrives and after the summer crowds have come and gone. There's a 5.2-kilometre trail around the lake, about half of which is wheelchair and stroller friendly, when there's no snow on the ground, that is. Thanks to its high elevation, snow can linger on the trails as late as June. The Emerald Lake Lodge is a lovely resort on the water's edge. You can spend the night or just stop in for a bite to eat. And there you have the very best 10 lakes in Canada. Did you like what you saw? Let us know in the comments down below.
Emerald Lake. Beautiful. The size of it. Oh my God. Here I am. When I first got into learning about Canada, I really had no idea about the size of it. All I used to think about Canada was like Vancouver and Toronto, and that was it. I really had no idea how beautiful the country is. Now I'm discovering all these beautiful lakes, all these beautiful cities, all these beautiful national parks, and there's just so much more. Canada has got so much going on that I had no idea about. From my understanding, Canada has more lakes than any country in the world. So if they're just the top 10, I am so excited to learn and see and discover so many more lakes in Canada. That was the video for today. I hope you enjoyed it. I really did. Please, if you did, smash the like button, leave a comment, and remember to subscribe. That really helps me out. That's it for AussieTash today. Take care. Cheers from down under. Bye.